Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me your time. Um, I just had a little bit of minor surgery yesterday, so I'm just recovering a bit. But what I'm going to go over today with you is our NDT trade execution platform. Now, this is the one element of trading that you're rarely going to listen to or hear about when you listen to somebody present their software. It's all well and good to get into a really low risk, high reward trade. But the only way you're going to make that a high reward trade is by having the ability to monetize it. And the monetization of any trade is reflective of your underlying automatic trade management strategy, i.e. where you're going to take your first target, how your stop's going to behave, how far you're going to let the trade run. I mean, you could wind up with a 120 or 130 tick move on the NASDAQ, but because you do not have an optimized trade management strategy, you only are able to get 20 or 30 ticks of that move. This is obviously a very, very key element of your trade, and again, one that you're going to very rarely hear discussed. In fact, I've really never heard it discussed by anyone. I mean, their assumption is, they give you a great trade, you're just going to be able to cop 80 to 90% of that move, and that just is not necessarily the case. This is what we deal with in this webinar, and that is how do you minimize your risk and also mathematically optimize the probability that you're going to get as much of that move as possible. So when you get that big home run move, you're in it for the majority of the trade and can milk it for a really significant sum of money. Now, I'm going to answer all questions at the end, so don't worry. Now, you're also if you stay to the end, you're going to get a really nice bonus. And also, this is going to come with a money-back guarantee. So you're going to be taking almost no risk if you purchase. We really want you to see it. We want you to have it on your computer because we believe that once, if you have a little hesitation and you don't have much of a barrier to get it, once you trade it, you will love it. Now, I personally would not trade without this tool. Now, just quickly, this disclaimer that all signals and trading opportunities provided both orally written or electronically that are disclosed to visitors or subscribers for educational demonstration purposes only. The company takes no responsibility for any profits or losses that may be incurred while you trade. Participating in the markets can involve substantial risk. What's really key is you never risk more than you can afford to lose. And participation in the markets is not appropriate for everyone. I mean, you need to bring to the table discipline and patience, or you're not going to make money no matter what system is offered to you. Always carefully consider your financial position prior to trading. You may want to consider doing your own due diligence or consult a financial advisor. And those of us here at Right Line Trading are not registered financial advisors, and we're not licensed commodity trading advisors. Now, the NinjaDome Trade Execution Platform is software I believe takes a quantum leap forward in trade execution management. The software configures and execute trades that cannot be taken on any other trading platform. And we've had a patent pending on this for over 2 years. We've been asked to make multiple revisions in the code. We send it back and forth to the patent office. It's very hard to get a patent on coding nowadays, and they're very, very slow. With COVID, they're backed up a year. So we're still waiting for our ultimate decision. It's really very easy to use and very easy to configure, although we'll do all that configuring for you based on the number of contracts you want to trade, and whether you want to take them all out of one target or two targets, or 3 targets. That's really up to you. Sergio, who's sitting right next to me, is going to be doing all of that configuring for you. You don't have to worry about the technical aspect of it. You're just going to worry about the trading aspect of it. And I believe from trading it for the last 5 years it really does provide you with more profit on every trade. Now it works on time, tick, Renko, Unirenko, range. The kind of candle that you trade is irrelevant to the tool. And I'm going to go over essentially how it works. I think the most important aspect of this is if you're trading time or tick, you do not know where the bar is going to close. You can make an estimate, but you don't know where you're going to get that bar close. Now, to trade intra-candle, in my humble opinion, is crazy. You have to wait till the candle closes because each candle is an element of market expression. It's the market telling you who's in control, the bulls or the bears. You may get a candle that heads down really hard. You're going to take the trade short, and then the candle's going to wind up closing to the upside. As part of the trade methodology that I teach, we never trade intra-candle. So if you're trading tick or you're trading time, you're not going to know where the candle is going to close. So at candle closure, if you're going long, you want to take a trade 1 tick above the close because the top of the candle acts as a very weak area of resistance. If you're going to take a trade to the short side, you're going to want to take a trade 1 tick below the close because the close acts as a weak area of support. Now that price is unknown to you, but if you have the NDT clicked, and I'm going to go through it, to take a trade on the close of a candle to the downside, it's going to run in there and fire a trade and get you a price that in 99% of the cases is almost the exact close, 1 tick below or 1 tick above, or really, really, really close. Much better than you could do manually trading off of a dome. In addition, I believe because it gets you in earlier than most other traders, that there is a queue. And if that queue determines who's going to get filled and who's not going to get filled, or if there's slippage on a trade, you're going to stand at the head of the line, be the first to be filled, and do it when there's maximum liquidity on the trade. You want to buy, there's still a lot of sellers on the other side. If you want to sell, there's still a lot of buyers. Now, we've had many trades with a 7 tick first target, it hits 7, it doesn't fill. I mean, these are the kind of things that are going to happen. But on a statistical basis, I think the earlier you get into a trade and the closer you can be to the front of the queue without any trading manipulation, the better you're going to get that precise fill, and it's going to help you out on the trade. Now, as you're going to see, and I'm just going through kind of a quick summary, the execution is instantaneous, and it usually it's going to occur at the exact formation close price. And when I refer to formation, I refer to time, tick, range, Renko, Unirenko, open, high, low, close, whatever kind of candle that you trade, whatever kind of formation you trade, the NDT will work on it. Now, I get formation from our patent. We have to refer to an open, high, lows, close bar, or a Japanese candle, or a time tick or a Renko bar as a formation. Now, the other thing you can do, and I'm going to show you, is you can take a trade on a pre-formatted pullback. And that is a type of trade you can only take on the NDT. I've never seen another platform that allows you to do that. So you can trigger a trade on a tick, on a close 1 tick below or 1 tick above, and then look for a 1 tick pullback or a 1 pip pullback or a 1 or 2 cent pullback, eliminate the bid-ask spread and get in at a lower price or a higher price, depending on which direction that you're going to go. Obviously, that provides you with a little more risk because you may not get the pullback, but if you do, you're in at a premium, and it makes a big difference. It limits your losses because it closes up your stop, and it increases your profit on a winning trade. Now, this is sort of a opening summary, and I'm going to go through each one of the elements of these trades as we proceed. So you don't have to worry about internalizing this from what I'm telling you. I'm just giving you a little bit of an idea of the kind of configurations you can get off this tool. Now, we've added a third element to it. I'm not going to go any further than this. And the third element I consider to be the blockbuster element, and the one that I have never seen and nobody in this office has ever seen, is the integration of a trade management configuration where you can take out, if you like, your first target at a preset price area. So let's say, just for instance, and I'm just giving you an example, this could be with Forex, it could be with stocks. I'm going to give you the example on futures. Let's say that you're trading a future and you want to take your first target out at 10 ticks or 15 ticks or 20 ticks, whatever you decide. We can set that up for you at 10, 20, whatever you like. You're going to get that trade. You're going to get your first lot. You trade 2 contracts. Your first contract's going to come off at whatever you decide. If you trade 3, you may want to take 2 off at the first target. The point is, you set a first target. At the first target, if you like, the stop will move to break even. So you are no longer at risk on the trade. You've locked in the money on the first target. And then you engage our indicator. Now, I have never seen a trade management tool that allows you to take the first half of the trade off of a pre-configured target where the stop moves to break even and then looks for the home run trade based off an indicator, which is a combined analysis of volatility and a moving average. Now, a moving average essentially gives you an idea of momentum, and volatility is what you want to remain high on a trade. So as long as you have good momentum and you have good volatility, that trade is still likely to continue on in the direction you want it. And I'm going to show you 4 trades that on a live market in which we were able to get 100 ticks, 80 ticks, simply based off this running tool that is an assessment of a combination of a moving average and a volatility component. It really is the tool that gets you those big runners and keeps you in those trades, where those are the ones where you kind of beat your brow. You get into a great trade on the E-mini, it hits your first target, maybe 2 points or 2.5 points or whatever you want on your first. Maybe you want 3 or 4 points on your second, and then it winds up going 10, and you can't get back into the trade. Well, this is going to take you all the way up. Now, you're not going to get up, you're not going to get to 10 because it's going to come back a little bit for the indicator to turn when momentum wanes, but you're going to be able to get that runner and get 80% of that move off of this tool. And this is really what I believe has created a completely different kind of trading paradigm that's going to allow you to completely change your risk to reward on every trade. Now you don't have a fixed risk to reward anymore. Prior to this, you knew how much money that you were risking on the trade. That's fixed. And you knew how much money you can make on a trade. That's fixed. It's based on your first target and your second target. You get them both out, you know how much money you're going to make. Prior to this, you know based on your stop, you know how much money you can lose. Your risk to reward is fixed, immutable, and you cannot change it. Here, the risk to reward is a constantly changing parameter. And when you get those big runners, and you will get them, I mean, on average, I think you're going to get a couple a day. If you trade some of the more volatile instruments like the NASDAQ, like the E-mini, even crude and gold can give you some huge trades. Your reward on the trade is totally dependent on the size of the move. So there is no fixed risk to reward anymore. And that is what completely changes the dynamic of the way we trade now. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the slides or move them over, move this over, and I'm going to show you the tool. Now, we just picked the NASDAQ. It didn't really have to be. It can be anything. Now, here is the tool that you cannot recreate. It is a partial moving average, but it is also a partial component of volatility. And no matter what inputs you put into your computer, you will not be able to recreate this line. Now, this bar in the upper right-hand corner tells you the color of this indicator. Now, sometimes if you're trading in a platform, because you can add this to your indicators, you may have other things on your chart. They may be confluent, and it may be hard to see the color. So in order to make that really clear at your discretion, if you want, you can actually put the color of this indicator up in the right-hand corner. So you see that little red, if you were taking a long trade, even that little bit of yellow would have taken you out of this trade. Because once, if you're taking a long trade, you're going to stay in the trade as long as this line is green. Once it turns yellow, the system will take you out of the trade. You see, this trade is going to keep you short until the line turns yellow. And then you're going to be taken out. And you can see, even on this trade, how this up candle doesn't change the color. So it doesn't bounce you out of the trade. And you get this is a very, very big move to the downside. And if I scale it or have the opportunity, because I didn't anticipate the NASDAQ would be moving this fast. It's going to take you out about right here. The runner is going to give you 6.5 points. That's a really, really nice runner. That's 25 ticks on your runner alone. So it's really going to get you those long trades. But what I want to do is put the NDT through its paces and look at this move up. You see how you get this down candle, it doesn't matter. This line continues to be green throughout the move. If you're in, I'm talking hypothetical right here, and you see that the trade continues up, it's going to take you out about right here. And on this trade, you're getting an 8-point move. So if your first target was set for, say, 5 points, you're going to get an extra 3. And if this thing went 11 points or 12 points or 13 points, you're going to get all of those. And remember, this runner is on no risk because you've locked in your first target and your stops at break even. So if the runner winds up going nowhere, you don't lose anything additional on the trade. Your money is banked on the first target and locked in. So let me bring up the NDT and show you some of the things that it can do. That's on test mode because we're going to take over the direction of the market so I can show you these trades and not be subject to the volatility just right now. We're going to disconnect from the live feed. And we're going to go to hang on one sec. So this is on obviously a test just to show you how the system functions. I'm going to be controlling the direction of the market and the speed of the market. Sergio, you can move the trend over because I want to make it clear that we're not trading a live market. I want you to see though what the NDT is capable of doing in a live market without my having to chase a NASDAQ that's moving at 500 miles an hour right now. Now, let's say that you wanted to take a long trade. And these are some of the basics. Now, these are Unarenko charts. It doesn't make, I'm going to show you these on time. I'm going to show you these on tick. And what we're going to do, and Sergio, do not worry about the configuration here. Sergio is going to completely configure this for you for the way you want to trade, for the number of contracts you want to trade. What I'm showing you here is really just the way the NDT works. So we're in a strong uptrend here because we've set it. So let's say we want to buy on an up close.
Order submitted.
Now we know where the up close is going to take place already. Hang on one sec.
Order filled.
Now it's filled. Yeah, it's got to. Now on the NASDAQ, we trade a 4. No, we trade a 5, 10, 20. No, 4, 10, 20. Okay, so the entry wasn't quite right because I didn't have that's all right, just leave it alone. So I'm going to close this trade so we can take one that is going to hit exactly correct. So let's wait for a couple of candles, and we're gonna buy an up close. Now, if you want to take a long trade normally, and you don't want to trade intra-candle, which you should not do, it's the only element of trade methodology that I want to impart on you. And after doing this for 15 years, the intra-candle traders normally wind up getting really crushed. Now let's say we want to take a long trade right here. There's the entry. The NDT already knows it. You don't have to be hunting around on your dome for this. Remember, this is a Unarenko, which is like Renko. Now you're filled. And you're filled with, you see the close here? You're in one tick above the close automatically. You don't have to hunt for it. That entry is exact. And we know we already have an uptrend in here. And I'm going to leave it in so you can see how it behaves when it hits its first target. We have 2 targets configured, sir. Okay. Where's target 2? Oh, it's on the runner? Okay. So we're going to, now our target's filled. And we're just going to take this trade. Now this trade is going to stay in as long as this line stays green. So we're going to leave it in for a little bit. Now we're controlling the direction here. So we know we can, we can make it, an infinite amount of money. That's not what I want to really show you in these examples. I have examples in live markets that are going to show you how this line keeps you in these trades a long time. What I wanted to show you here was simply how you're going to get your entry to the upside exactly one tick above the close of the candle. You do not have to fumble around on the dome, which I have here, but don't need. I mean, it's up 9.5 points. I mean, I could be looking around for my buy stop. I don't need to do that. And I don't trade off of this. I trade off of my NDT. And in fact, I can click that dome out. I don't even need it. So I'm going to close this trade.
Order filled.
You saw how precisely you get an entry to the upside. And now we're going to change the direction. Now this is going to work exactly the same way I'm showing you in a live market environment. If you're trading the NQ and it's moving like a rocket and you're trading range or Ranko, it's going to put that entry up way before it hits. If you're trading time or tick, it doesn't know where it is. And I'm going to show you that. And you're going to have to wait for the candle to close. But on this market right now, I'm going to go through all the different types of candles. So you can see it functions extremely accurately and with terrific precision, irrespective of the kind of candle that you trade. And I like to trade time-based candles on stocks and Forex. I like to trade Udorenko candles on futures. So I need this to also be extremely accurate on a time-based chart. So let's sell it down close. There's the entry. And it hits one tick below the close of the candle. Now you can't do better than that unless you're super fast on the dome. And you're going to have to calculate the price right here, 1101.8.5. Get that sell stop up on the dome, and you're going to have your whole trade management strategy pre-configured.
Target filled.
Now the target's hit. That's all I wanted to show you here.
Order filled.
Now let's change this from Udorenko to time. And why don't we do a 1-minute chart? So we don't have to wait too much time. We can do a 30-second chart. So we'll do that we'll do it even faster. Now remember, you and I cannot know where a time-based chart is going to close. Even if we put the time, I think there's a time counter on here. I'll add that. Let me find it. I don't normally use it. Here's the tick counter. Where's the time counter? You know where it is, Sergio? I don't see it. I'm all right. It doesn't really matter. I'm not gonna stress about it. We're gonna take a short trade.
Order submitted.
No, hold on, let me close.
Order canceled.
Yeah, Sergio's gonna reconfigure for time. Now we're going to show you how to do this. It's very, very easy to do. Okay. Okay, now we're set on time bars. And we know we're heading down. So now it's not going to set a target because it doesn't know where the candle's going to close.
What order fell?
Now, you actually got a tick of, you got a little bit of a break here. You got in right at the candle close. But in order for that to happen, it had to close and move down a tick, but it just stuttered back and got you a slightly better entry. So you're actually in at the candle close price. You could never do this in a live market on your own. These are precise entries.
Target fell.
Then there's your first target, and then you're going to get the runner off of this red line, which I'm really not going to belabor here. So let's close this trade, move the trend to the upside, and do the same thing on time. I hope you can see that this is a much, much easier system to trade. Now, part of the goal here is for you to focus on trading. Focus on price action. Focus on whatever indicator analysis you use. Focus on the correlative markets. If you're looking trading the NASDAQ, we have an indicator that looks for us at the E-mini, the Russell, and the Dow. We want to look at the correlative markets that have to do with the NQ. You don't want to spend very much time focusing on your trade management strategy. Let something else do that for you. And this does that for you. You hit this button and you never have to think about it again. Now let's buy an up close.
What order fell?
Hit. And you actually got, because of the way the market stuttered, you got an extra tick here. And up you go. Now, if you did this manually, you could never get a better entry unless you had the speed of an electronic system. And I think that's extremely, really difficult to have. And we know it's going to go up and take out our first target. All I really want to do here is highlight the entry. I'm not touting winners or losers here. I'm controlling the direction of price. So let's close it up. So now let's do the same thing with tick, because I know that there's some traders that trade tick. I traded tick for years. I've backed off of tick, but and what I use now is Unirenko and time-based charts, depending on the instrument or the markets I'm trading. But there may be traders that also trade tick, and we'll set it at a 150 tick, which is very fast, so we don't have to sit here and we don't have to wait. 150, Sergio. Now, I'm only going to run through these different kinds of candles once. As long as you see that it works on any kind of candle, you know, that's all that matters. And when we start looking at more complex formations, we'll just do it off of one type of candle. So I've got the tool looking for an upside move. Let me let it move away from, okay, so let's buy an up close, and we're trading tick. It's only a 150 tick, so this should move pretty quickly. Now, you and I both do not know exactly where the price that this candle is going to close. The electronic system is looking for that candle close. And it's going to fire that entry looking for a close one tick above the close of the candle. Now, I think eventually we'll get our patent pending. We'll go to patents. If this government institution gets off its butt. There it is. Now, this again gave us a one tick because of just natural market stutter. And we're in, though, the entry is extremely precise. Now, it's right at candle close, but it wouldn't execute unless the price moved one tick above and then moved back to execute us. And if it does it, and we get a tick or two of to our advantage, we'll take it. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for an entry exactly one tick above. But on tick in time, the market hasn't, that intrinsic wobble, and you may get one tick better. You can't get one tick worse. So this can only go in your favor on the entry. So now now I do want to show you this. I want to show you, this is a little bit more of a primitive trailing stop. And but it might be one that you like. I just want to show you have the ability to use it if you want to. And again, it's pre-configured, so you don't have to worry about it. Now, let's say that you are going to continue to stay in this trade to the upside until you get a reversal candle. And let's say the market's moving very quickly. Now, this is a little too gently for me, and I'd like to make, I'd like this to move faster, but at least I can control the speed so I can demonstrate the tool. Right now, the NASDAQ moving at 1,000 miles an hour is not going to be very advantageous for us to look at. And if something moving really slow, it takes 10 minutes to get an entry. Now, I'm going to let it go one more candle to the upside, and you're still in the trade. Now, Sergio did not configure the stop to move to break even, so I'm just going to move it up there. But believe me, we can do that. Very, very easy for you. Now, I'm going to let it go one more candle up. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it down now. And we're going to hit the close on a down close button. So now, this is the more primitive, and this is the first down close you get. It's going to close the trade for you. You never know you're going to get a down close until the candle completes. I didn't hit the button. Let's close on a down close. Let's just make sure. Are waiting for the candle to finish. I can't get this to move any faster.
Order
And
filled.
there, it just closed. So you got your close on a different kind of trailing stop. You're going to stay in the trade as long as you get up closes. As soon as you hit the trade, as soon as the trade moves to the upside, you're going to hit, if you're going long, you hit close on a down close. If you're going short, you hit close on an up close. And that trade is just going to run for you. And that is another way of trying to milk the trade for all it's worth. It's a little bit of a tighter trailing stop than the one I'm going to show you. And it's a lot less sophisticated, but it's a way of trading. Now, there are other options here if you trade Renko that I'm really not going to go into. Some Renko traders will want to close on close, irrespective of whether the candle closes to the upside or the downside. That's not the way I trade, but you have that option. To just simply close the candle on a candle close, and you're out of the trade. And here's just a sell on close. And here's just a buy on close. And these are just Renko settings for Renko traders, if they want to use those. We're going to stay with the buy on an up close, sell on a down close on an up close, and the other settings here. Close on an up close if you're short, buy on an up close if you're down. And I'm not going to go into the additional configuration we have for Renko traders. So I showed you time and I showed you tick. So it does not matter what the formation is. This is going to get you a much more precise entry. And once you preset it, you don't have to worry about it. It's just going to take care of itself. Now you can always override the system by just hitting a close button if you want to. Now I rarely do. And when I do, almost 100% of the time, I wind up screwing up the trade. I mean, the Nasdaq's got on 15 points. I close it up and it goes up another 10. You know, I want to take my profit off the table on a runner. I never take it off at the right time. Or if you try to close the candle before it completes its down close, it heads down about 2/3 of the way, then reverses and closes to the upside. And I've taken it out of the trade too early. So I rarely hit that close button. I let the trade evolve on the automatic trade management strategy that I've configured. And that's the way I wind up making the most money. Now, I do want to show you another way that you can trade. And as far as I know, this is the only type of dome that's going to allow you to do this. Let's say that you're trading. I'm not going to put up a Forex market because it'll work on any market, but that's what I use it for the most on. The Forex has a lot of wobble, and so does the NASDAQ, quite frankly. Now, the only reason you're not getting that wobble is because I have this set in the middle. But I'm going to move the trend to the middle here. So you can have a little, I'll put it right here. It's got a down bias with a little bit of wobble. So we're going to sell it. We're going to look for a 1-tick pullback. And we're going to sell a down close. Now I have on slides exactly what it's looking for. Let me find the slides just to make it very, very crystal clear. If I could find them. I think they're right here. Now, this could be a very, very advantageous trade. Now, what it is, and I don't even have a set, I don't even have the set exactly right, but what it happens is you're going to get a trigger one tick above the close on a long, but it's just a trigger. The entry is going to be on your pullback. If you put in a one tick pullback, it will actually execute the trade on the one tick. Like it's got to close one tick above. That breaks the weak support of the high of the candle. You want to do that. Once it does that, if it pulls back a tick, or in some cases two, if you really want to take a little more risk, it will actually get you into the trade on the pullback. Now that's extremely advantageous because your profit targets are still out there, but now you already have 2 ticks of profit on the trade at the time you enter. Your stop hasn't changed. So you've knocked 2 ticks off your stop as soon as you're into the trade. Now, if your stop is 10 ticks and you've knocked 2 ticks off, 20% of your stop is gone, and 20% of your profit is already garnered and potentially in the bank. The trade hasn't closed yet. Now, we used to have an actual dome on this, but we had a company, which we won't name, but it starts with NT, that wrote us a letter that said that we had plagiarized their system and that it was a copyright infringement. So we had to chop the dome off in order to keep the platform intact. But we used to actually have this. So here's the trigger price at 207.00, and then your entry is a 2-tick pullback, and that's where you get filled. So that's the kind of trade that we're looking for, just like that. We're looking for a pullback trade. Now it's riskier. You're not going to get a tick or two of profit on the entry without taking a little bit of risk. The risk is it doesn't pull back. You get your trigger, but you get no execution, and that happens. So you have to make a decision as to whether or not you want to do it or not. So let me bring over the NDT, and we're going to configure in a 1-tick pullback on a sell on a down close. Now we're trading a 150 tick. That should have a little more wobble in it because I've got the downtrend not set strong down. But we're going to get something at 150 ticks, and we'll see if we get an entry. I had my eye operated on, and let me tell you, my right eye is like a tomato. I have a neurological problem that I've had for 35 years, and it just really got worse. And I had to go to the ophthalmologist, and he put me right in the hospital. And I had to go to the operating room. Now there's the order submitted. There's no execution. You need the pullback to execute. And it doesn't look like you're going to get it in this market the way I've got it configured. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little bit by moving this up. So if you would have taken this trade in this particular market environment, you would have gotten no entry. All you have right there is a trade trigger, but no entry. So I'm going to push it up a little bit. You just don't get that intrinsic wobble when you're using the that trend tool that sets the trend. In a normal market, sometimes you get tremendous wobble. I mean, sometimes you get 4 or 5 ticks. The trade will go against you before you get a winner, especially in the Forex markets, I found. You can cut that bid-ask spread off nicely by looking for a 1 pip pullback. Now you see the market's still got to come back a little bit, 1 tick above that blue line before it's actually going to execute.
Order filled.
And you see it just filled. Now I'm manipulating this. Now you're in your down move and you already have 2 ticks on the trade on the winning side, and you've already cut your loss, your maximum potential loss by 2 ticks. And so you're going to head back down. I mean, I'm the one who's creating the wobble here, because the market's just not giving me the wobble I want on this kind of data feed. But this is a tremendously advantageous way to trade if you see that the market is really stuttering. If you've got a pure momentum-based market, now you're filled, and you've already got a nice, and you've already got your target out right here, because you got that 2 ticks of premium, and your first target's hit, and you're going to get out now on the trailer, on the more complex trailer, unless you simply close on an up close, and the market's going to continue to give you profit until you get a reversal candle. But I'm going to show you that more advanced tool that allows you to stay in the trade a lot longer. And basically, you know how it's going to go. And if I change the direction here, the first up candle is going to take us out of the trade. Now, it doesn't matter whether this candle closes to the bottom. It's really not important. It probably will close to the downside because it's a 150 tick, and this trend tool created by Ninja is not exactly moving at lightning speed, but I can't get it to move any faster. Now, this next candle, just to demonstrate, this is going to close on an up close for you. Now, a lot of the other settings are really for Renko traders, and I'm not going to separate those out. If you're a Renko trader, when you get set up, Sergio will run through all the additional buttons you have and options that you have as a Renko trader that you can leverage to help you trade. I'm not a big fan of Renko, but this is not to talk about trade methodology. It's simply to talk about trade execution. If you like Renko, you stay with Renko. If you're making money off of Renko, you stay with the market that's making you bucks. And I'm not here to give you any tips on how to trade. I'm simply giving you what I think is the best trade execution and management tool that I have ever seen. Now, right now, to trade the E-mini, the NASDAQ, crude, and gold, the last thing I want to do is trade, and you're out, just like that. And you're out almost exactly at the right price, 1 tick above the close of the candle. That's where you want to exit the trade. It's a perfect exit. Now, again, not to overemphasize, but I don't want to be looking at this thing and putting in buy stops, sell stops. And you could never configure a close on an up close on a short trade or a close on a down trade unless you're sitting there watching the candle and running in to take that close and then closing it one tick above. It's just impossible. And I don't think it's a practical way that you can trade, but you can see how easy it is to trade off of this tool. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm trying to think of, let me just grab Sergio for one sec. Sergio's our tech guru. He has a master's degree in computer programming. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our, what I consider to be a major upgrade in trade management. I'm more proud of this than anything that we've ever done on this tool. Now, it took us months to configure because we're overriding the DOM. The DOM only is looking at your trade management and your targets. But this is actually overriding it and giving you a complex trade that you cannot configure using NinjaTrader or any execution management tool. Now I'm going to unshoot the screen for 1 second, and then I'm going to put it back. Just give me 1 second. Okay, this is the video I want to play. I want to show it to you. This is the video I want to show you first. Now, this is a video. Now, the only way that you can understand how this works is to show it to you in a live market. I can't sit here and control the direction and control the speed and for it to have any validity. I want you to see how this trade evolves in a live market. Now, this is the NASDAQ. Now, these are real trades that we went back on. We saw them evolve. We went back on market replay so that we could video them. But these are actual trades. We can't control the direction of the market on the NASDAQ. But you're going to see a real trade evolve here. And this is a trade that we garnered. I could show it to you right off of our back end. Now this is the real NQ. The date here is 9/20. Well, that can't be the date. That's the contract date. I don't know the exact date of the trade. It's within the last week because we didn't go back very far. I can tell you that. All these trades are a week to less old. And you're going to see the system fire in a real market. And now it's using our first target, move to break even, and out on a change in this line in color. There's the entry. Right there. Now there's the first target hit. Now watch how this trade evolves. And this is the way a lot of these trades evolve. When you think that they're done, they're not done, because this line, which measures volatility, is still telling you have strong volatility to the upside. Now you're going right into a pivot, which is an area of resistance, and you could close the trade here and override the system. But when I have a lot of volatility on the trade, look at the slope of this line. I'm going to anticipate that I'm going to break resistance, and it just snaps it. Now, right now, we're up to 11 3/4 points on the trade. You can always override the trade. If you decide you've got what you want on the trade, you can always take it out. It will not damage the system. You're all set for another trade. Nothing is now you're getting a pullback, but the line is still green. So if you configured a close on a down close, you're out. And that line is still green. This is 11:25 in the morning. Now, remember, you're in this trade at no risk. Now you're up 14 points. It's pulling back again on a down close. You think that this might be the end of the move, but that green line is telling you you still have support and you still have volatility in your direction. Now, not every trade I'm always very upfront and honest. Not every trade is going to run this far, but you've already locked in your first target. And this is a no risk runner you're taking. And you're up to 25 points here. That's 100 ticks. Now, I wouldn't fault you if you took this trade and closed it at 100 ticks. On one contract, that's $500. Now, but volatility is still angled to the upside. And it may go further. Only, personally, you're out. It came back, the line turned yellow, and it took you out of the trade. And if you look at the entry and you look at the exit, this is exactly an 80-tick trade. It's an 80-tick runner. On one contract, you made $400. Now, if you took 2 out at the first target, we have 2 out at 15 ticks. That's 30 ticks. So that's $150. So that's a $550 trade. Now, all the phony gurus aside about making $10,000 a day, if on one trade you can walk home on 3 round trips, one trade with $550, you've had a stellar day. Because that's the way you trade. Most traders overtrade. They churn the market. They get a winner, they get a loser. They get 2 winners, they get a loser. They get 2 losers, they get a winner. And they wind up taking 15 trades in a day. Maybe they make a marginal amount of money. Maybe they lose a marginal amount of money on 1 ton of trades. Here, 550 clean, 1 trade. It's time to go home. Go get your McDonald's hamburger, make your scrambled eggs. You're finished. Now I'm going to show you another trade. And unfortunately, I have to move off because they're behind behind it here. Now it's moving. So, holy geez, hold on a minute. Let me go back to the start. This one's running really fast. Hold on a second. Let me stop it from trading and show it to you. Now remember, this runner is a no risk runner. There's your first. It's filled. This is a live market. And this is showing you the color of the 15 in case there's any ambiguity, or this line and these lines look at each other, eclipse each other. Now you're up to 14 points. Here's 18 points. Now this is a live market and a real trade. We didn't engineer this trade. It stopped. Now here, Sergio didn't put in exactly how far it went, and I can't scale it because it's a video. This is a huge trade. Now I don't know if it went 80 ticks, but you easily have a 60 or 70 tick winner here. It took you out. See the upper corner? You've got a yellow here. It's a little ambiguous if you just look at the line, but it's clear cut in the upper right-hand corner. You've got a yellow bar, and that yellow bar closed the trade for you on an enormous winner. And I'm telling you, one of these is all you need a day to wind up with a 2,000 plus week on a very small number of trades. And that really is the key. I'm going to show you one more, but I think you get it. In fact, I know you do. You just actually what you're seeing here is the whole monitor. Here's another trade. It may look the same. Hold on a second, but it's not. Let me hold it up. And let me shoot the screen clean. There we go. You can see the color in the upper right-hand corner is red. And the trade's on the roll. There's your entry on the break of the pivot. That's the signal. You know when you're entering a trade, you're going to see that triangle. Now here you can see we've got 14 points. Sergio was nice enough to put this up. 17 points, 19 points, 24 points, 30 points, 35 points, and you're out. And even though it says green here, there's a touch of yellow, or wouldn't have closed the trade. And remember, it's doing an intra-tick calculation. So at one particular tick level, it hit a yellow. And green is obviously a change in color. Somewhere in here was probably a yellow color, but it may have gone right to green. Volatility and the moving average may have changed abruptly, but it took you right out. Now, I can't scale this trade, but it is one monster trade. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. It's 37 candles times 4 ticks. Each candle is 4 ticks. So it's 37 times 4. So it's a 148 tick trade. Now you're not going to get all of those because you're going to come back and you're going to give back 4, 8, about 12. So that's about a 136, 135 tick trade. And these happen on the NASDAQ, especially on gold too. And crude, you can see these things run 30 and 40 ticks. And there's no other system. If you take a trailing stop here, this may be successful. But you see these big wicks? You'd have to set a very big trailing stop. This is the only system that allows you to do it on no risk. And your trailing stop is not going to bop you out. Because if you remember the prior trades, you got reversal candles. And it's very tough to take a reversal candle and stay in the trade. Remember, each candle is a 4, 10, 20. So a reversal candle is going to occur on the 22nd So you're going to get back 25 ticks on a reversal candle. So if you set a trailing stop that's greater than 25 ticks, that's a lot of risk. And remember, that trade doesn't necessarily have to mature all the way. This is a very safe way of trailing these runners. And what's key about it is there is no second target. The market sets the target for you. Now I'm going to show you one more. Now, honest to God, this is a real technological breakthrough, because normally, now this looks like the same trade, but I'm telling you it's not. Remove this to the beginning. It just so happens the NASDAQ in the last couple of days has been down, as I think it is today. I haven't had a real chance to watch it because I haven't felt that well because of my surgery. But we're going to start the trade. I think the screen is shot. Let me just make sure. Here we go. You should be able to see it. And we're going to start the trade. And this one's moving a little slower. Now, I'm not going into our indicator analysis. We have all reds below. We have red background bias. This is when this is going to trigger. You're going to use the system on your methodology. If you like our methodology, we'll be more than happy to discuss it. But I'm not discussing it in this webinar. It's not the purpose. Now we're 12. Now we're hitting major support here on this zone. If you close the trade here, you would be at no fault. There's no right or wrong here. The likelihood of a bounce here is pretty high, but it goes right through it. Now you're at 21 ticks, 21 points, or 25 points. Now you're going to get trades like this that fail. I don't want you to think that I'm just showing you all these gorgeous trades and this is all that's going to happen. But remember, you hit your first target, you've got yourself 150 bucks in the bag, and you cannot lose more. So if you don't get a runner, no big deal. If you get your home run trade, you're done. Here's 32 points. Now, personally, I'd probably close this trade. At 30 points, I'd be finished. I would just hit the close button and let it go. And see, the line just went green. Whoops, took you out. And that's the end of the trade. Now, I'm not going to scale this trade. It's just not worth it. You can see it's a huge trade. I mean, it's easily over 100 ticks. Now, I would have taken that out at 30 points, just because, to me, that seems like the trade is getting long in the tooth. That's 120 ticks on one contract. That's 120 points, 120 ticks. I'm sorry. So 5 times 120, since I can't add or multiply, is a $600 runner, plus the 150 you locked in at the first target. If you trade 3 contracts, that's a $750 trade, and you are done for the day. So this is sort of the crown jewel of this platform. Now, what we do and our trade methodology, sort of our company philosophy, is it's all based on the optimization of price movement in a closed system. That's my mathematical background. I mean, I graduated from an Ivy League university with a degree in applied mathematics. And the basis for that, without going into anything long, is that nothing is ever perfect and nothing is ever static. We're always looking to improve every system that we get. Like I see workspaces out there that are the same from 10 years ago. Their philosophy is different. Our philosophy is there are certain forces that come to bear on price. It's our, it's sort of our mandate to define those forces and do it to a point where we can get 100% winners. That's the ultimate goal of optimizing a closed system, clearly defining all the forces that move it. When will that occur? That will occur in time infinity. So we can be working on this system for the next 700 years and we will never get it perfect. But that's the goal of the company, to try to continually improve it. And you know, it's that curve. I can't write on this. And let me just bring the slides back and then I'll show you the offer. And remember, it's a guaranteed offer. So if you don't like the system, you can give it back. So it's not like you're going to be at any risk. Let me just go from, I'll just take it right here from the current slide. I can't draw on it, but basically it's a geometric line that asymptotes to infinity. And we're never going to get there because along the ordinate is precision or positive predictive value. Along the abscissa is time. And we will reach 100% positive predictive value at time infinite. But it's still our philosophy. We're always looking to make things better and better. Our workspace is never static. And I believe over the course of the last 10 years, our workspace has gotten more and more powerful as we move forward. And one of the things that we always do is we always give you the upgrades and the improvements for free. You come aboard, you have the NDT, we make it better, you get that improvement. You don't pay for a 2.0, a 3.0, a 4.0 version. What you pay to get in is the only amount of money you're ever going to pay us. And I have people who bought my system 10 years ago and have been getting upgrades for 10 years straight. And there's only one indicator that's still on the chart from 10 years ago. That's how many upgrades they've gotten. If they paid for 2.0 and 3.0 versions, they'd be on version like 25. And we just don't, that's not the way we work. Now, here's the offer. Now, it's 50% off the $1,500. It's $749, and that's lifetime. It's a lifetime license and a lifetime of upgrades. And I can almost guarantee you we will make this system better, just like we did here. I mean, this is a tremendous upgrade and one that we could charge current users, of which there are a huge amount, a 2.0 version for this add-on. We're not charging them a penny. Now, it comes with an owner's manual, which is quite extensive. It comes with at least a dozen video tutorials to explain to you how to work it, how to configure it. But at the end of the day, Mr. Sergio is here, and he will do a white glove installation. He will do what you want it to do. If you trade one, he'll show you how to configure it for one, and also show you real easily how to change it to two. But he's always here to help you. So you never have to worry about it. The tech component is, I feel like, that's our responsibility. You don't worry about that tech spot. That's, you got enough to worry about as a day trader and a swing trader. It's not easy to make money. It's, you know, the phony gurus will tell you, you know, you're just going to accumulate money like it's going to fall out of the sky, because they've already all made 20 and 30 and 40 million, and now they're offering you their system for 2,000 or 3,000, and it's guaranteed to make you money. Well, there isn't anything. It takes diligence, it takes persistence, it takes discipline, and it takes patience. But it also takes the right tools. You can't build a house without a good hammer. So the tools you get are very important. Now, the first 10 orders only will get a month in the live training room with me. And that's a $249 value, because that's how much it costs to get into the trading room. So you can subtract the $249 out, and basically, if you come aboard, you're paying $500 plus the $249 for the room. Now, it's guaranteed. The only thing that we're asking you, and you have 30 days to call us, and you have a no questions asked money back guarantee. But you're going to have to leave $79 with us. And here's the only reason. This is a lot of work for Sergio to configure. This is not a 5-minute or 10-minute zip file, because he is going to go out, and we can make it that way. We can just send you the zip file, you read the manual, you read the videos, you do all the work. Don't call him up, and then we'll give you 100% of your money back. But I'm telling you, it's just not going to work that way. You're going to need him. And it's going to take him 2 hours, because every configuration is unique. Some traders are going to want to take crude off at 10 ticks. Some are going to want to take crude off at 7. Some are going to want to take crude off, the NASDAQ off at 10. Some at 15. Every single configuration he's going to do uniquely for you based on your risk tolerance and how much money you want to risk before you hit your first target, come to break even, and are in the trade at no risk. So we're going to charge you $79 for that. And I'm telling you, it's really cheap considering what I pay him an hour. I mean, he's a really expensive guy because he's got such advanced degrees. So if you want your money back, you're going to get the $749 minus the $79. And if you hold it for a month, you can look upon that $79 simply as a 1-month lease in which you paid $79 to have this system for 29 days and make a decision as to whether or not you want to keep it. And we have people all the time who ask us if they can lease it. And the answer is no, because we're not going to go through all the trouble of configuring this platform for people who are not serious. And we don't want browsers, people who are just looking to see how it works for 2 weeks and then hand it back. Meanwhile, Sergio has to spend 2 hours plus of time configuring it for you. We want serious purchasers who are really looking to come in and keep it. And it's my firm belief that you will see that this is going to give you a tremendous entry advantage. Now, I'm not teaching you trade methodology. I'm not teaching you what I think is the best way to trade. I'm only teaching you the best way to enter a trade that you think is a good one. And the best way that you can monetize it, i.e., create that better risk to reward, and the best way that you can cut off the losers, i.e., again, improve the risk to reward. And everyone looks at the percentage of trades that you get are winners, but it's really the risk to reward that is the key. You can scalp 15 perfect trades, and then your one loser wipes out your 15 losers. So your win percentage is going to be fabulous, but your risk to reward is going to be horrible. Here, you get one home run trade that could potentially eclipse 5 or 6 losers. That's the way you want to trade. That's the way you become a professional trader. You take 2 or 3 NASDAQ losers of 10 ticks each, and then get a runner that goes 125 ticks. Those losers become a joke. And you're going to walk away for the day with a great amount of money. That's the key that makes the system so valuable. and forgetting about these home run trades, just getting in one tick above the candle on a time and tick bar where you don't know where it is, getting in one tick above or one tick below on a range or Unorenko is also extremely valuable. Setting up that ATM, not having to work off that crazy dome that moves around like a Mexican jumping bean on steroids is really going to be a tremendous advantage to you. And you can click your dome out. You never have to look at it again. The ATMs, which I didn't go into, are installed in this tool. So once they're installed, you never have to use your dome again. It's done. So let me answer any questions that you have. And hey guys, I don't have a cam on, or you'd see my right eye, which looks like it's growing a tomato. And this morning when I woke up, I just felt really sick from the anesthesia. But I had to have it done, and that's just the way it goes. It's a trivial thing when it comes to all the things that can happen in life. Hey, well, thank you so much, guys. Thank you. I'm okay, and all my traders, I really appreciate it. Yesterday was a very uncomfortable day. They stick that IV in there. They give you that anesthesia, and then you wake up, and your eye feels like it's on your forehead. But it looks pretty good today when I got home, and everything's going to be fine. And I see out of it great. It was never an intraocular problem. Hey, Jonathan, Mark, can we complete the NDT today? Jonathan, we can't configure it today. We'll start the configurations on Monday. Sergio leaves in about 2.5 hours, and it takes him about an hour and a half to 2 hours per configuration. And I know all you guys who have it already are going to get the free upgrade. So just give him till Monday, and he will put you all in a queue, and you'll all get upgraded. It trades Forex. Jim, I think it's a tremendous tool for Forex because of the fact that Forex really does stutter. And when I trade the Forex, I look for that 1 pip pullback. I try to get that 1 pip back. That sometimes that is part of that bid-ask spread. So I'll get a trigger if I'm going long on the ask, but I'm going to look to close that bid-ask spread by pulling that price back to the bid. And it works terrific on Forex. Now, Steve asked me, why don't I show trades on a live market? And I can. There's no problem with it, except that I want to show you how it's going to function exactly the same in a live market. I have all the live markets up, and I can show you how it trades in a live market. But I mean, it may take me 15 minutes before I see a trade that I really want to take. And I don't want to hit it and hit a bunch of losers. I want to show you how it functions. I'm hiding nothing from you. And all the traders in my live trading room know this is how it works and knows this is how it trades. And it trades the exact same way in a live market. I purposely put in the sim data feed, which I didn't hide from you, obviously. I wanted you to see this. So you could see how it takes a trade 1 tick above or 1 tick below the close. And those trades I showed you on video are all live trades. And like I told you up front, you are not going to get every trade being a home run. What you're looking for is every trade to hit your first target. And you're not going to get that either. You're going to pull in some losers, but your losers are going to be small compared to the winners and the home runs. And that's how you trade profitably. Now, this is a live market. I'll show it to you right here on a higher time frame. And you can see the NASDAQ is moving up nicely. Oh, it's not. It's off the sim data feed. I forgot there was a live market. The live market's controlling everything. And if it really mattered, I would move to a live market. But the live market is not going to. Excuse me for 1 second. Okay. That's just my son. Okay. Does it trade Forex for real? Yes, it does, Jim. Steve, are you going to show any live trades? I address that. Regilio, take trades in real-time markets instead of a control. Listen, if everyone wants to see that, I'd be more than happy to show it to you. I'll drop this. I'll move the slides over. And I'll bring up the charts. That's the script. We don't need that. And I'll just switch the data feed and I'll show it to you. It's quite easy. Let me just go to my control panel. It's right here. And I'm just going to switch. Well, these are the charts. Let me find my control panel. Now today, our strategy was up over $1,000 at one point. So I'm just going to change the data feed. I'm going to disconnect the SIM. And I'm going to connect the live feed. There we go. It's connecting. It looks good. Looks like the market is going up, but we'll see. Let me bring up the NDTs and have Sergio retool them for a different feed, which is going to be a live feed. So he has to bring them back. They disappeared in when you change the data feed. And I think we're okay here. I think I can do them myself. You have to give this a chance to load. I'll just do the NASDAQ and the ES, just so it doesn't take forever to load. NDT, yes, it's up. And the NDT NQ is enabled. So let's give it a minute. It's not going to load immediately, but it is connected. Now we trade ultra bonds too. They are very lucrative. We have gotten some incredible trades off of ultra bonds. Let's just move this to the NQ. And this is a live market. Now the NDT should be up. If they're not, I'll have to give Sergio a holler, since he sets this up for me in the morning. Here they come, right there. Now they're staying on a sim feed, but it's a live feed. I'm not taking real money trades, like in this webinar. Give it a second because it's loading. I'm just doing this for the few people who are asking to see this, and it's no big deal. Now, the E-mini looks good today. I haven't even looked. You know, I have an options portfolio, which I also give out. It's very inexpensive, but we are killing it. But I'm not here to proffer that, sell it, or even mention it. But since I take every single position in my own portfolio, it makes a big difference to me how it's doing. So we've got some down stuff today. Silver's down. STM is up. FCX is breaking out to all new highs. DH Horton is up. Home Depot's up great. Starbucks is up good. Facebook not so good. And then our silver and gold stocks are up really good, all on options. So I don't know how we're doing today overall, but we're just about there. Now the market's a lot slower now. You see it's on a Unorenko. I'm just going to take trades. I can't guarantee you these are going to be winners because I'm not going to sit around and wait for a winner. But you're going to see how the platform functions. Now it's still not, it's still loading. I mean, it's got a lot of data. It's looking at a lot of different markets. And it's just, you know, it's just not that simple, unfortunately. Now I would expect this to load. Hang on a second here. It's just not loading. Let me reload the template. Here's my NQ. I have a whole bunch of NQs here. NQ Revo. And this should load. Give it a sec. I didn't want to really drag out the webinar, but here it's loading fine. There we go. So we're just going to, on the NQ, we're just going to sell it down close.
Order filled.
Now hold on a second. The order's filled. Let me go to text and markers. Now that one, let me close it.
Order filled.
Okay. And we'll take a trade. All right. Sergio has to fix this. Hey, you know, it's set for to take trades on All right, we're all set. And we're just gonna buy an up close.
Order submit, order failed. Target failed.
Got our first target,
Failed.
and it took us out after the first target. Like I said, I'm just gonna trade this to show you a live market. We'll just sell it down close.
Order submitted. Order failed.
We're gonna close on an up close.
Order
It
failed.
took us out. I'm not looking to make money. I'm just looking to show you how it works.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
Now, if you go for a long trade and the candle closes to the
Order
downside,
submitted.
you're gonna get an automatic cancellation. You don't have to run any
Order
cancel.
canceled. Order submitted.
Looking to buy.
Order failed. Stop failed.
So we got stopped out. I mean, we're not
Order
looking to trade. We're just honestly, we're just looking to profile for you.
target failed.
Here's a target. Let's see if we can get a real nice runner here. Here we go. With 7.5 points. Where are you in the trade, Sergio? Okay, see the line change color and you're out. So this is a very, very nice, this got you a decent runner. Not a stellar one. And we're just trading, a lot of chop. But I just hope you can see how effective it is. And if you trade, remember the NASDAQ is very difficult to trade and we need perfect trades. We're gonna sell it down
Order
close.
submitted. Order failed.
Now I'm sitting here hoping it works, but it doesn't matter. All I want to do is show you the execution process. That's really all. I mean, none of these trades are real. You have to have this trend line below this line here to take a trade. None of these are trades we would take when we're trading. I'm just taking everything. I will take one more to show you on a live platform. It did show you one runner, but it wasn't really a huge one. Just trading into the afternoon and the market's real choppy. And these are not setups. So I don't want you to, think that it's not, the goal here is execution, is not trading. But somebody wanted me to set it up, I'm more than happy to do it. I want to test data feed. I'm not gonna risk any money here. Because I'm just gonna take trades. I'll take one more.
Order submit. Order failed.
There's the fill. And who the heck knows if it's gonna continue up or not.
Target failed.
There we go. Now we're on the runner. See if we can get it to go. We're at 5 points. This line's irrelevant. You watch this color.
Order filled.
Took us out, took you out. Now this is configured a little bit differently. This is enter and out on a line change. This is not configured to move to break even, which we can do for you easily. We'll sell a down close, which I don't think is a great trade because we're moving into a pivot.
Order canceled.
It's canceled. And this is be the last trade I'm going to take.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
I mean, it's not a great trade, but we'll
Order submitted.
put it in anyway, just to see if it just for you to see the execution process. That's all. Now at this speed, there's no way you could take any of these trades on the dome. And whether it works or doesn't work, honestly, is irrelevant here. I mean, yeah, these are just not configured trades. But I wanted you to see how it functions. I'll just show you the last day that I traded before my eyeball. I can show you. Hang on. I'll show you the results. It's not bringing up anything. Hang on one sec. For some reason, I'm not getting anything here. It's 9797, and nothing's coming up when I hit it. But let me just see why. Well, I know Sergio will be able to fix it. Hang on. Oh, I know what it is. Yeah, I think it's the data feed. No, I don't know what it is. The data feed is correct. We made $550 in 2 trades. We got a really nice trade on bonds, and we got a full winner on the E-mini, and we had 2 trades when we were out. But I'm not talking about trading methodology here. I just wanted to show you the function of the system. And I want you to see that it executes trades in a live market totally appropriately. Those were not entries or exits. I mean, not entries, okay? Taking trades in real-time market instead, and I just did that for Helium. And the only thing I was trying to show there was that it functions exactly like it does on a sim feed. I mean, it's going to get you in 1 tick above, run on that trailing line, and we don't have it configured to move to break even at first target, but it's really easy to do. Okay, just sure what you are. Okay, Mark. I trade using Chart Trader instead of Superdome. I just look at the 2 to see it. That's fine, Mark. I mean, listen, is it mandatory that you use this in a fast market? I just find it more advantageous. That's all.
Connection.
But if you can get the same trades off a Chart Trader, that's not a problem. Okay. Yeah, I missed it. It didn't matter, but thank you guys. And I just did on real time, Greg. And again, profit loss here is irrelevant. It's just the fact that it's executing the trades exactly as I said it would. If you watch the up close, you see how it's already found the up close. This is Unirenko. So it's already sitting there. And if it doesn't hit it, it auto cancels the trade. You don't have to go in. Now there it is. Again, now this is not a trade. See, this last line is orange. Would not take this trade. I need all greens. But I'm just going to show you it's sitting there. It's waiting for the entry. Now, for some reason, my continuum data feed, it's canceled. Doesn't move in your direction. And the market's just stutter stepping. And of course, the NASDAQ is without a doubt the market with the most volatility. And you really got to sit and wait for a perfect trade. And these are not perfect trades.
Order submitted.
And we'll buy it up. Oops.
Order canceled.
I mean, I could do this all day. We'll buy an up close. You already got the entry. It's right there.
Order filled.
You're in. Markets all over the place. Still, it's just fluttering around here. It may be a winner, it may be a loser, but the trade's configured. You can watch it evolve.
Stop there.
They just took us right out. It does, but that's irrelevant. And the reason I put in the sim data feed is for me to wait for a perfect entry to get a high likely winner, it could have taken me 10 or 15 minutes. And it may have taken for a very long time. I want to take the long trades on a green background with all green lines below. Short trade on a dark pink background with all red lines below. And you can see none of that was present when I took the trade. I'm not talking trade methodology here at all. And I don't want to detract from the power of the NDT by just entering trades willy-nilly. Okay, Heinz, nice to see you guys. Will the existing members, as always, get this upgrade? Hey, James, using the dome, how do you add to a position? You can always add to the position when you come aboard, James, Sergio will show you exactly how to do it. You can always add more contracts in the direction you're trading, and the dome will allow you to do it. And he'll show you exactly how to configure that. Hey, John, in the close column, why not use the word exit? Well, come on, John. Exit and close. I mean, right now, excuse me, those are not the most important things. We want to make this a more complex, more powerful tool. But they're good suggestions. Don't get me wrong on that. Okay, Bill. show the advanced MA stop, please. Okay, I already have the system. Are you able to email me the documents that explain the NDT system? I can, Mike, and I'll have Rory do that, okay? We have a very extensive manual on the system. It's about 35 pages. So it'll describe for you exactly how the system works. Now, a lot of traders just look at the videos, others read the manual in the videos, and others just call Sergio. You have all of those options. It's good to read the manual though. It gives you a really good fundamental grasp of how the platform works. Sergio can ultimately do the setup for you. We got your email. Thank you, Mike. Hey, Keller, what are the profit targets on the trade? Kylie, here's why I'm not even going to bother to mention them. They're up to you. And this is really not about that. It's simply about the ability of the tool to get you a home run trade and to get you a precise entry, one tick above or below, allow you to exit the trade on a reversal. It's simply to highlight the power of the tool itself. The profit targets that we configured were 2 contracts out at 15 on the NASDAQ, and then the runner on the change in color on only a 10 tick stop. That was a very tight stop. So on 3 contracts, you're risking 30 ticks or $150 on a potential first target. That's $150. And then if you get your runner, it's all gravy. So that's our risk to reward. That's how we set it up. And that's why if you get a $600 winner and the sum total of the trade is $750, you can lose 5 trades in a row and it equals that one runner. That's what makes you profitable. Hey, Greg. Greg, just speak to Sergio. I'm sorry, to Rory. Hey, William. No, the Revo system, this is an execution tool, William. This is a separate tool. I mean, even if you have the full system, you have to purchase the NDT. You have the NDT, you will get the upgrade. And boy, the market in a live market is really heading down. We do that, Bill. We do ignore the wicks. Hey, Ed, what happens if line color changes after entry, but before the line does not become relevant until the first target is hit, Ed? That's the big breakthrough on the system. It moves from the ATM you configure to the color change of the line after your first target's out. And that's a terrific question. Let's say that line goes to yellow before your first target, say at 15 ticks, is hit. It doesn't look at that line until your first target's hit. When your first target's hit and then you go to break even, then the system looks to the line. Until then, it ignores the line. So it will never prevent you from getting to a first target. Now, you're rarely going to get to the first target if that line changes color. But irrespective of that, the whole point of the system and the major upgrade of the system, and what I think makes it unique to all other systems, is the fact that it doesn't look at that line until your first target's hit. Then it changes its focus for the home run trade off the line. Hey, Jonathan. Jonathan, how it integrates is Sergio's magic. I have no idea how he coded that in. I mean, you're asking me a coding change and how the NDT reads the color. Well, let me tell you, I believe this is the first system that ever starts with an NDT, starts with a fixed target, and then moves over to a color change. Thank you, Heinz. No, it's much more than that, Jonathan. It is not just an ATM that uses color change. It is an ATM that stays as an ATM until you hit your first. Now, you can configure it any way you want. You don't have to use the line or the color change. It's just a completely configurable tool. You can take your first target at 15, your second target at 30. You can do whatever you want, but you have the ability to configure a first target based upon an ATM. And then after the first target is hit, it starts looking at the color change. In other words, the way you configure the system is totally up to you. All I'm giving you are the potential options the system offers you. Now, I believe the way that you're going to most likely get a big trade is to take your first target out, move your stop to break even, and let the runner move on the color change on that 15 EMA of an EMA with an ADR ADX component to it. Let it go on the color change. You've locked in your first target, you've locked in your profit, and you have no risk on the trade. That's my opinion, but that doesn't have to be yours. But you have all that configurability. Okay, Jack. Well, we'll send. Thanks for coming aboard, and we'll send you a. Hey, Rory, would you put the purchase link in the room? Jack, it should be in the chat box right below. If you don't see it, we'll send you an email shortly, and I appreciate it. It only works on NinjaTrader 8, Chandra. It is. Listen, I think it's a stellar platform, Greg. I mean, it's what I trade every morning. I didn't trade it this morning because I was one day post-op, and yesterday I was in the operating room. So I have the weekend now to recover, but I'm in the room every single morning. And if you come aboard and you're one of the first 10, you'll be in the room with me. And I focus on the E-mini and Ultra Bonds. Ultra Bonds, I think, is a hidden jewel of a market. It's got fabulous volatility. I can look at this trade off of a down close, and it's $32, $31.25 a tick. You get in right here, and you go down. That's 16 ticks. You take it out on the color change, you give back about 3 ticks. That's 13 ticks at $31.25 a tick. So if you take 2 contracts out at 4, which is what we do, that's 8 ticks times 3. That's $240 on your first target, locked in. You run the rest of the way. You have a $600 or $700 trade. I really like this instrument. And then I trade the E-mini, and I keep my third eye, which I own now since the surgeon put a third eye in my forehead. I watch the Dow very closely. And in this fast market, it's not switching, but there's the Dow. It's low volume, but it also doesn't move like the NASDAQ, like a crazy instrument. And getting 20 ticks or 30 or 40 on the Dow is very possible. You just have to take a great trade. And you need that pink background, dual reds, which are showing you the multi-time frame alignment of the NASDAQ, Russell, and E-mini. And these are the dual gears showing you the multi-time frame assessment of momentum. When everything is locked in like that, you have a high likelihood of getting at least a first target. And that's your goal. Get your first, lock in your profit. And then if you get a runner, it's just a ton of icing on a cake, on a great cake. That's all. No, it's good for stocks, Nick. It's good for everything. I just wanted to put up one data feed, but listen, this is going to give you the same thing on stocks and Forex. It's the same system. One tick above the close, one tick below the close, runner on that proprietary line. It does not matter the market, the instrument, or the time frame you trade. It is irrelevant to the NDT. You can trade 4-hour bars, daily bars. It doesn't make any difference. I just wanted to show you quick bars. I mean, if we traded a 4-hour bar, it could take us half a day or a week to get an entry. I just wanted to show you a quick bar with a quick entry and a quick exit, just to highlight the power of the system. We weren't looking for profit or loss. That's irrelevant here. And I don't want to teach you a trade methodology. That's irrelevant here. You have a trade methodology. If you want to join us and trade our methodology, that's fine. But you have your methodology. This is just to help you trade and give you more options and make it easier for you to get entries, control your risk, and try to get tremendous reward at no additional cost to you on the trade. That's all. That's all this tool was meant to show today. This is not a strategy, Ed. This is trading on a live market on a discretionary basis. Hey, Ramon. If you're unable to order, Ramon, just call us. And Sergio and Rory will key in the trade. We'll key it in for you. Here's our number, 786-732-4656. Every now and then there's some little quirk when you put it in yourself, and Rory will key it in for you. That's not a problem. If it's just not going through for you. Can the user listen, this is totally modifiable, Kylie. If you need us to help you modify, we will do it. I just picked an arbitrary on the NASDAQ. What we do is 15 in the runner. You can do whatever you want. The number of contracts you trade is up to you. Your first target's up to you. Everything is up to you. Remember, I'm not giving you a trade methodology. I'm simply showing you the power of the system. So everything is configurable. And that's, you tell Sergio, that's why we're charging that small fee, because everyone's going to be telling him what they optimally want. Now, you may want him to configure 3 different targets. He's got to configure each one of those for you. Maybe on the NASDAQ, you want a 15-tick target. On crude, you want a 7-tick target. On gold, you want a 10-tick target. He'll do those all for you. So that's why we need a little bit of, we need to charge a little bit of money for all that time. This is not a zip file download, and he configures everyone the same. Everyone may have very differing configurations, but it's completely configurable. Remember, you don't have to trade Unirenko. You can trade time. That's a different configuration. You may trade time on stocks, which is what I do. I trade Unorenco on futures. I trade time on Forex. I trade Unorenco on futures. Each one of those, he has to configure for you. So that's a lot of work. Hey, Fong. Thank you so much, Fong. Hey, Ramon. Yeah, call the office, Ramon. Rory will do it for you. And thank you for coming aboard. You too, Greenar. Thank you so much. Can his be used for stocks using time? Absolutely, Caesar. You can trade this on stocks, on time. In fact, that's what I do. Listen, I want to say this. I don't consider myself to be the most outstanding trader when it comes to futures. There's a million people in my room that trade futures better than I do. And I moderate the room, and they make more money than I do consistently. If you're in the room, you see it. Everybody posts their profit, and sometimes it's 2 and 3 times what I make. But when it comes to picking options, I am really a dead-on guy. And we have weathered this meltdown incredibly well. Our portfolio has given up 1 to 2% on this huge meltdown. And we are configured in that options portfolio on 15 positions. And we're slowly picking them out. FCX I took out. FCX hit a 52-week high. DraftKings I took out, although I think DraftKings is going to go higher. This market's too, but I take these trades all off of my stock platform and other fundamentals that I look at. So it's a very powerful platform for stocks. Forex too. I used to have a 2 a.m. Forex room, but I'm a single father raising a young boy. At the time I did it, he was 15. I had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, make his lunch, take him to school. This is at 6 a.m. Eastern. Come back. Well, I used to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern, trade the Forex markets, trade for about an hour and a half, 3:30, go to bed. Wake up, 6 o'clock in the morning, make his lunch, take him to school. Come home, go back to bed. Get up at 9 o'clock and trade futures. And then by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I was ready to go into a coma. And I did that for 6 months. And we had a lot of people in our Forex room. I just could not sustain it physically. If we had a great Forex trader on our system, I'd be very interested to talk to him because this trade great on Forex. Hey, Rico. So to enter a trade, it is not automatic. You would need to find the proper, yes, this is not an automated system. Hey, Dan, how is this different than the package I purchased last month? Is this an additional add-on? No, the package you got was the software, Dan, which is what everybody gets. This is a trade execution tool, and this is separate. We never include, because remember, when you buy the software, you can execute the trades in a multitude of ways. This is a separate tool. It's one of the few things that we don't include because the software is one tool, but the execution of the trades is another tool. You get this, though, it comes with the same promise. Upgrades and add-ons are free. You'll own it for life, and you're never going to pay us another dime. But it is a separate pathway. And it's true, and that is true for every trader that buys our software, not just you, Dan, not just the package you got. It's universally true. Hey, Jonathan. Yes, Jonathan, this weekend it will be, I promise you. Is okay. Mark, I missed most of the webinar. There'll be a recording. Okay, no problem. It probably won't come out until tomorrow morning because it's a long webinar, but you will get it, JT. Can this be used with Thinkorswim? And actually cannot be, because the trades have to be executed on NinjaTrader 8. I hate to tell you that, Caesar, but if you don't use the NDT, our software works great on Thinkorswim. But if you want to use our NDT platform, you have to use it off of NinjaTrader 8. And remember, opening up a NinjaTrader account is super easy. It takes you, we have a preferred broker. You have one in 2 days, it'll cost you $100. And to pay quarterly, it's $200 a quarter for a live platform. And you're going to pay for the commissions, which you would on any platform. So the additional cost of $200 a quarter, which is about $75 a month, is very minimal. And you'll be able to take these trades on NinjaTrader. Obviously, I trade Thinkorswim, and I do that with options. And I've had a Thinkorswim account since 1995, when it was TD Waterhouse. It's where I opened the account. And then they merged and they became TD Ameritrade. But to trade futures, I trade off of NinjaTrade. Options, I trade off of Thinkorswim. What is the dome you're talking about? Well, remember, you've got the NDT, which in a sense is a trading dome. It's all you need to execute every trade you take. And then there's the dome that comes with the NinjaTrader platform. Now it's called the Super Dome. These are equivalent. But this one jumps around like crazy and will not, if you want to take a long trade, even on Renko, you have to find, if you're going long, find the buy price, right click. It's been so long since I use it, and enter a buy stop order or a buy limit order. I don't even know how to do it anymore. Actually, here's the buy. See, I did it, and I don't want to do that. So you're basically replacing this with this. And with Chart Trader open here, it shows you everything. So if I enable this, this is just enabled for the ES. And I buy and up close. Okay, hold on a second here. I got to move the ES. 3 contracts. I think that's going to work. And this should be a buy stop. See, I can see the entry. I know where I'm going to get in. And I see my targets projected right there. It's everything is there. You don't just hit the first target. You got a little cash register, but it's irrelevant whether this was a winner or a loser. I just took this willy-nilly. And you can see the stop is 1 tick above the entry. This is on our older ATM. I just dialed in, not looking for a runner. And it's going to stay in the trade as long as you stay 1 tick above. And you can always trail it. I trail a lot of these trades on my own. And it stopped me out, but I got a nice winner on it. So I get to dump this for this. And this is way more powerful. Yeah, this is a completely different system, Mike. This is not our software. The webinar today was not to profile our software. That's a separate webinar. This is to profile our trade entry tool. We'll send you a replay, Jonathan. Don't worry about that. Index have rolled it. Yeah, they rolled it December, Ed, but I believe we're still, look at the E-mini, it's 1.6 million contracts today. Now on Monday, we're going to roll. We're not going to roll today. I mean, I couldn't trade today because at 9 o'clock this morning, I basically felt like I was hit by a Mack truck and I was still in the hospital. I was just discharged about 11 o'clock this morning. So I couldn't trade today. But I told Sergio and Rory not to roll until Monday. On Monday, we're going to roll everything. Hey, Rex, can Serge load the new NDT upgrade? He can't today. He just can't, Rex. Remember, it's got so much additional stuff. He's only got an hour and a half left of the week, and I don't want to put him under that pressure. Monday, he will start configuring everybody who's come aboard, and he's pretty quick. So it's going to take him an hour to an hour and a half per person. We're going to just create a list at random, first people to buy, first people to configure. So, you know, and our old customers will get a little bit of preference, but he'll get everybody. Don't worry about that. Yeah, don't listen, and it doesn't matter if I'm trading the ES or whatever. I'm just profiling the tool. I'm not looking to make money. I'm not on a live feed. I'm on a test feed, and I just want to show you the entries. I mean, a couple of traders pushed me to a live market. I really didn't want to do it on a live market because it's stuttering around, and it's I'm not taking setups I would normally take anyway, but I just want you to see the tool in action. That's all. Setting up the target before it hits, showing you exactly where it's going to go, and how much of an advantage it provides you. Now, it could take me at this point the whole day to get a runner. That's why I videoed the runners that were taken in a live market. Real trades. Those were not fake trades. Those were all during trading times. From 9:30 to 11:30, all those trades took place. They didn't take place at 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Those were trades we took in the live trading room that got us those huge winners. All right, hang on a second. No, it's configured to move. I just didn't have it configured. It's going to move to first target. It's going to move your stop to first target and lock that in for you. Okay. Thank you, Diane. Hey, Mark. That's right. Monday was Labor Day. That's why I have no performance. Son of a gun. Thank you so much. You think I'd figure that out, but it just didn't. Hang on a second here. Here's our trades. Cumulative profit, $512. We finished trading. Last entry time here, 9:55 in the morning. Took 2 trades, 2 winners. E-mini, for us, full winners 300, because I don't have that line engaged yet. And on, we took 2 on the E-mini. Now, I closed this trade early, or we would have had 600. I squeezed the trailing stop and took us out at 512.50. That's how you want to trade. You want our goal is 1,000 a week, and that's how we want to trade. We look for 400 to 600 a day, and once we hit it, we stop. Stopping at your profit target is part of good trade management overall. You don't stay in the market and keep trying to run it up, because eventually you're going to hit a loser, then you're going to want to make it back. You're going to hit another loser, and you're going to take a $500 or $600 winning day and spin it right down. It's like, that's the only time I liken trading to a casino. When you go to the table, unless you're just trading for fun, you got $100 and you don't care if you lose it. If your goal is to make a certain amount of money, step away. When I go to Las Vegas, I never step away, because I'm not there to make money. I'm just there to have fun. This is a business, and this is not to have fun. This is a career. So when you trade this, you set a profit target, and when you hit it, you stop. Mark, can you send out the manual? Sure, Fong. I'll tell that to Rory. He will send the manual out to everyone who owns. Okay. No, it is not free. It is a separate system. The Revo owners, that's software. This is trade execution. This is a separate tool. Hi, Mark. Hey, Hakeem. I thank you so much. I am feeling better, you know that. My throat is still scratchy, and I don't want to, last night I had a terrible night. I got sick from the anesthesia, and I didn't have a good night, but I'm good. Okay, well, you're gonna get it. I've been keeping my promise on the upgrades and add-ons for a decade. So if I tell you you're gonna get the upgrades and add-ons, you can take that to the bank. I told you I have people who've been getting upgrades and add-ons for 10 years. And it costs the company a fortune to do that, because Sergio puts an enormous amount of programming time in. And for all the traders who already own the system, we make no money. But I just do that because I think philosophically, that's the way you should be. You trust me, you come aboard, and that trust should be rewarded. And that's how I do it. I'm not charging you again. Hey, Mark. Great stuff, Mark. I upgraded as trade execution is the missing piece I need. I'm glad, Mark. It really, nobody talks about it, Mark, because nobody can handle it. They show you a trade and they show you where they got out, but they don't show you the method they used to get there. And that's because they don't really take the trade. And you see it goes all the way down, it goes all the way up. Well, what's their risk tolerance? What's their trailing stop? What do they use to get to where they want to go? That's a big component of trading, and I have never heard that addressed in a webinar. Yet it's an essential component to trading that is very nicely sidestepped by these phony gurus who just tell you you're going to make 200, you start with 2,000 and go to 2 million. And there's this phony super mom who took 2,000 to 2 million. Now, if you go to Google and calculate the percentage on that, and I'll just do it really quickly as a joke. Where's my Google here? It's down here somewhere. Let me just put up a new tool here. If you calculate percentage change calculator, so your starting value is 2,000. Your ending value is 2 million. And now we're going to calculate the percentage. Oh, you bum. Make me buy it. This will work. Please provide any of the two values. Okay, so it's 2,000. I didn't want to waste the time on this because I thought it would be easy. But 2,000 is what percentage of 2 million? And that should be 6 zeros. Yep. Where's my number? It's 0.01%. So it should really be the other way around. It comes out to about it's either 20,000% or it's 200,000%. I think it's 20,000% on your money. Now, who can make that kind of money? 20,000%? And it really should be 2 million is what percentage of 2,000? There's the number. It's 40,000%. Well, it's 40,000. Hopefully I'm giving you the idea. These are numbers that are just not achievable by anybody in the world. You can't take 2,000 and turn it into 2 million. It's impossible. It's about 100 doublers in a row. And these are the people that litter the internet. Hey, Yuri, could you show how to configure the NDT to have targets? No, that's all Sergio, Yuri. I'm not going to go into the technicals here. If I went into the technicals, we'll be here till 8 o'clock tonight. Sergio will do that all for you. And if you just want to call him and ask him, he'll be happy to show you. Where I can call for the triangle, you call Rory, Sergio, and he'll show you how to get that as well. Apparently, there's a problem with our purchase tool. You're going to have to call Rory. I really am sorry. Just call him at 786-732-4656. He'll key in your order for you. And I don't know why that is. I don't want to ask Rory right now because it's upsetting that you just can't purchase because it's so important. But if you call him, he'll key the order in for you. No, it's more than an indicator. It's a whole system, Ed. That triangle for the NDT, isn't that done? No, we moved it so it is just a separate standalone tool. It is not the strategy any longer. Okay, that was the big upgrade. It's easy to get that runner on a strategy, but to get it on a discretionary trading tool was impossible until Sergio figured out a way to do it. And it took him a long time to do that. And just call us if you want to purchase. Looks great. Thank you, Manny. Give Sergio a raise. Can't even afford him now, but give him a raise. I'll have to go on food stamps. Hey, Ramon. Oh, great, Ramon. Great to have you aboard. And remember, you have 30 days to evaluate, but I promise you, you will not regret it. I mean, you get good entries, this is going to monetize them for you. It's not going to give you winning trades, but it's going to give you terrific executions. And if you get a great execution on a good trade, it's going to monetize it for you like no other platform can. Hey, Dan, sorry I had to step away. Not sure if you answered my question. Not sure if the NDT was included. It's not. It's not included in anybody's money flow tracker or Revolution signal system. No software contains our trade execution tool, Dan. We're not picking on you, or it's not your particular software package. This is a trade execution tool. It is completely separate. It comes with the guarantee. Basically, you're only risking $79, and you get to use it for a month. You don't like it, you don't have to keep it. We'll take it right back, minus 79 bucks for Sergio's programming time. And it's really a very, very low risk deal. And I wanted to make it that way. I didn't want 100 people to come aboard who have really little intentions of keeping it and tying him up for 2 weeks, because he really is expensive. So I just want serious people to come aboard. And if you're willing to pay $79, believe me, it segregates out, you know, the people who just really just don't care one way or the other versus the people that are seriously considering keeping it. And if you ever sold a house, if you ever had a FSBO, a for sale by owner, which I did way back in 1985, 1 million people come by to look at your house who have no intentions of buying it, and they waste your whole day. It's how they spend their Saturday afternoons. It's looking at people's houses, and they drive you nuts. So it's in there for 2 really important reasons. One is his enormous amount of programming time, and 2, we just want serious people. Hey, Manny. Terrific, Manny. I'm glad. Well, no, listen, TOS is a great system, Manny. But if you want the better executions for basically almost no money, I mean, on futures, if you trade them, it's so inexpensive to come across on NinjaTrader that I personally, and when I give you my personal advice, I mean it. I personally think it's worth it. I mean, the platform's 75 bucks a month. Our tool's a one-time purchase that you get to evaluate on your own. And so it's really a no-risk move. I love Thinkorswim, and that's where I do all of my executions, except my futures, because I use my NDT. Hey, Ramon, what happens with the software if you go out of business? Ramon, we're not going anywhere. Ask me that question in the year 2025. Okay, Ramon? Because at the rate we're going, I'll hit my retirement target figure dollar-wise in about the year 2027. I'll be 162 years old. So ask me that question then. Otherwise, Rory and Sergio are young guys. I'm the older guy here, and I'm in really good health. Okay, great. Thank you, Rex. Hey, Satine. Yeah, I mean, they're just unbelievable. The December contract, September had 1.63 million, and December had 1.8 million. So we're going to roll, but they're both, I mean, between the 2 of them, they've racked up over 3 million contracts. It is recorded for replay, Caesar. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I know you can hear my voice is hoarse. You know, that's because they stick that stuff down your throat, and you always wind up with a little bit. It's 1,000%. Mike, who can make 1,000%? It's absurd. It's an absurd figure to proffer to any rational human being. I'm not going to mention her name because it's not professional. When I saw her presentation and then I watched her webinar, I wanted to choke. I mean, it's lucky if she can make 10 cents a week, let alone 1,000% in 2 years. It's absurd, but that's what you're seeing over and over again. And it really hurts a lot of traders. It sets an unreasonable expectation. that if this mother who's raising 17 children can spend a half an hour a day and make 1,000% in 2 years, then why shouldn't you be able to? Well, she never did it. And these are the kind of figures that are being bandied around, and it's just bullshit, BS. It's Sir Sergio. Okay, we're going to knight him for you, Manny. And Sir Rory. We'll take them to England, and we'll have the Queen put her sword on their shoulder, and they will then be known as Sir Sergio and Sir Rory. Okay. Yeah, our website is down, Mark. That's WordPress, and you know what? Our software developer may be working on it. I sent her a really nasty message last night. Not nasty, telling her the website was working too slowly, and she may have it down because she's trying to speed it up. So you're going to have to call us in for the orders, and that's the reason. It's on WordPress. It's very reliable. It was just moving too slow, and I said to her, it's unacceptable at the rate it's moving. So maybe she's on it right now and working on it. So just give us a call. Sergio will key it in, Roy will key it in for you. And it's really no muss for you. He'll send you a receipt with all the guarantees in writing so that you know exactly what you get, exactly the $79 fee, and the 30-day money-back guarantee is all in writing for you. Hey, Ramon. The live trading is always recorded, Ramon. It's automatically recorded on GoToWebinar. If you ever want a replay of the live trading, you just send us an email and we will send you the link. And you can scroll to 9:30 or 9:29 Eastern Time, right where I start to trade. So every single session is on a link that you can watch. Please tip. You're funny, Manny. Hey, Dirk. Can you trail the indicator and have a target on the second position? Yes, you can, Manny. Absolutely, Dirk. You can trail it and take it out on the second position. Absolutely. You can really do anything you want with this. I mean, it's as configurable as this. It's actually got everything that this has, and I think 100 times more. I mean, look at this price jumping around. What I used to do when I traded it way back in the Stone Age was I would freeze it. And there's a freeze button here somewhere. At least there used to be. Where's the freeze button? I can't find it anymore. It's not here. Well, there was a freeze button here back in the Stone Age. And I would freeze the price and I would put my orders in and then I would unfreeze. Because I can't trade when price is jumping around like this. So that's how I would trade it. And I just don't see the freeze button here. And it may be because I have to pay extra now for the freeze. But it's crazy to try to trade this, I think. That's just my own personal opinion. How does this work in ES? And what are the settings? The settings for the Unorenco ES, Satine, you have a first target of 2 points. You get them, you lock it in, stops at break even. And this is how we're going to trade. And then you move to the line, and as long as the line is green on a long and short on a red, it's going to keep you in the trade on your runner until the E-mini, until that line turns yellow or turns against you on the trade. That's how the E-mini works. But that's our recommendation. It is not how you have to trade it. You can take it off at 1 point. You take it off at 1.5 points and move your stop to break even and not even use the trailer, that advanced trailer. You can take one target out. I think it was Mark just mentioned about using a trailer. You can take your first target out and trail the trade by 7 or 8 ticks. You can do whatever you want. My recommendation is to pick a first target, bring your stop to break even, If it comes back and takes you out, no big deal. Always look to re-enter if you've been taken out early, because you may get a great re-entry signal. Thing that's taken me a long time to learn, because my central nervous system goes into shutdown when I hit that first target. It bounces me right out. But that bounce out is usually a good re-entry. And if the line's still green on a long or red on a short, you got the pullback, just go right back in and look for the runner. This is how you're going to garner money. Thank you, Manny. I'm glad you're alive. Listen, I would never go into a market without that NDT. If I had to deal with the dome, I would probably need to be on Xanax, because what it does is it just creates another hurdle for you. Besides trading and getting a great entry, then you have to execute. And who the heck wants to execute on this phone? Now remember, this is we're late in the day here. You're not imagine how this moves on the NQ at 9:35. I mean, this, it's like trying to catch a puff of smoke. It's impossible. Just stay on the NDT and it will give you a great trade. Hey, Ricardo, just want to let people know I use the NDT trade. I use the NDT trader, cannot trade without it. It's a must-have tool. To have is priceless. Ricardo, I really appreciate your comments. I feel the same way, but coming from a trader really means a lot. Manny, thank you too. Me too with Ninja, great. I have already uploaded. Thank you, Mark. Hey, Manny, my computer blew to Sergio's reinstalled my software. Great, Manny. I mean, Sergio's always there for you. Thanks for the webinar. My pleasure, guys. Curious why you choose moderate fast. Well, Jonathan, that's the strategy. And I don't even want to discuss that here. I want to stay focused on the trade education. I mean, on the trade management tool. Hey, Satine. So NQ and ES uses no, they don't use the same settings. I just threw them in there just to show you how it worked. They use very different settings. Remember, our first target on the NQ is 15 ticks. Our first target on the E-mini is much smaller. So they're completely different automated trade management strategies. Once the first target is hit, then they're the same. Take them out on the line change if that's what you want to do. But you're going to get different ATMs for every instrument you have. And those will be our recommended, but you can always have Sergio modify them for you. Okay, Satine. Your offer has been oh, well, listen, I just want people to, you know why I did that, Bob? It's just because nobody can see. Everyone needs to use the phone number. I mean, look, if you want to see the price, it's right here. I'm not hiding anything. I mean, there's the software. And listen, this is not about price movement. This is about price. This is about trade. This is about trade entry, execution, and trade management. I'm not really talking about the software here. So I'm not really, Bob said you're overlapping the charts, which he doesn't think is cool. But this is not my goal. My goal here is to show you how to execute a trade. And I'm reading your comment out loud, Bob, because even criticism is welcome here. Will this webinar be available? Yes, it will be reviewed. It will be available for review. Satine, thank you guys so much. And thanks so many of you for giving me so much of your time. Now the number again is 786-732-4656. We'll work to get that 5-page operational ASAP. But right now, if you want to be those first 10 and get into the live trading room for a month for nothing, give us a call, come aboard. You're not risking much. You have 30 days to evaluate it. You leave $79 on the table. And I think to test drive this, I don't think you're going to give it back. I truly don't. We don't normally give guarantees, but on this, I think this is such a tremendously powerful tool. I think once you sort of acclimated to it and see how great it is, you will never give it up. And remember, you'll never pay us another dime. This isn't a yearly lease. It's not a quarterly lease. It's a lifetime purchase. And it comes with all your upgrades and add-ons for nothing. So have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Enjoy your time with your family and relax. And let's come out Monday and beat the heck out of the other retail traders. They're the ones who have to give us their money. We're never taking money from the large institutional guys. They're mowing the lawns on the first floor, so it's bothering me a little bit. Let's do really great. You guys have a great, great weekend, and hopefully I'll see you aboard on. Bye-bye, everybody. And you will get a replay.